Yeah. First question, I've been here for 4 years and I have walked the neighborhoods. And I guess we have a pretty good turnout here now almost under election, but in previous years, these people, Ellis County people tend to not, the Republicans tend to not turn out well. Is the Secretary of State office got a committee or somebody there?
No.
You didn't put out and how we can get it.
No, that's great. So, when I'm out knocking doors for my race, for house race, everybody talks to me about property taxes. Everybody talks to me about property taxes. Because our property taxes is too high. But when I'm walking, I have the voter roll, and one of the columns I always print out is did they vote in the odd year elections, in the municipal elections? Because the state is not setting your property taxes. We actually just passed a law to take away the 1.5 mils of state taxes. So we're like totally out of the property tax business. The state does not get any of your property taxes. The 20 mils is just a pass through to the school, right? So the local governments are the ones that are setting the mill rates. And so when they ask me, like, what are you going to do about my property taxes? I'm going to turn you out to vote, for city commission and school board, and go vote for county commissioners that are going to hold the line on rising property taxes. Then you're right. It's those odd number of years, only Democrats come out and vote, and you cannot dynamite Republicans off the chair to go vote in those local elections. And so I've heard all kinds of solutions. I've heard we need to make them partisan so people know who's a Democrat, who's a Republican. I think that's a good idea. But if you really want to turn out people for the local elections need to be on the same year that we're voting for congressmen, senators, and the rest of them. So I would like to move all of our elections to even years. I'll tell you what, the clerks would love it because they'd only have to run half as many elections. And so, and it would increase participation because the Republicans come out from the even year elections. And if we combine that with putting an R&D next to all of the city commission and the school board races, now you're informed, who you're voting on, at least their principles, right? Something else I want to hit really quickly. I know you got more questions, I'm sorry, but something that schools, especially schools, but cities would do it too. Whenever they want a bond, they schedule the election 2 weeks after New Year's, mail-in ballot only. And so the only people who vote, when you get the ballot in the mail, you're like, a bond? I don't want a bond, and you throw away the ballot. So the only people who vote, the 12 people that vote yes, because they want the bond, because they work for the school and they want the money, right? So this year we passed a law that I think is going to help with that. The new law says that if you're going to do a special election, whether it's a bond election or a sales tax or a special question, it can only happen on one of 3 days in the year. General election day in November, primary election day in August, or the first Tuesday in March. And those are the only 3 days. So at least people kind of understand, hey, special elections, these are, it should help with participation. I would have loved to have gone to just November and August, but the schools were wailing and gnashing teeth. They were going to come burn down my house and throw grenades in my office. So we had to compromise to get the votes. But so it's the second Tuesday in March. So it's the second Tuesday after the first Monday in March. That's the third day of the year that they're allowed to do special elections. So what it does, it will force all the municipalities to do them on that day. Because they're not going to do it in November and August because they want lower participation. But at least there's only one day they can do it. Because right now it's random days, right? It's they'll do it, they'll do it second week of January, and it'll be a mail only. And I think it will also reduce the number of mail-in ballot only elections, which I hate. Because then a ballot just goes to everybody, whether they live there or not, because we already said that the voter rolls are a mess. So if they have to do it on that day, and there are other municipalities doing it on that day, they're more likely to do it in person because it's more expensive to do a mail-only vote. So